Yeah. I spotted that.
Yeah, it's lovely, yeah.
Okay, first question, boys. Going to come from
So, how have you found the Touquet so far? You said it's been quickly.
Yeah, it's been lovely. We had the weekend to sort of settle in and unpack our rooms, have a look round. It's a lovely little spot. Everyone here has been very welcoming to us as well. So, yeah, it seems like the perfect sort of base to start our World Cup journey.
It's a bit of a tricky build-up. What's the move going into Saturday's game?
Well, I think the good thing is that whatever's happened over the past 4 or 5 weeks, there's no games won or lost in a World Cup yet. So I think we're fully aware we're not playing the type of rugby we want to at the moment. We're not performing to our potential, but I feel like now we're at a World Cup. The lads are really, really keen to go and put a performance on as they always are, but there's been a different focus this week, and I think now we're out here, it's a completely different challenge. So we're looking forward to it. We know they're a fantastic team. They fight extremely hard, but we're looking forward to the challenge on our first World Cup opener as well.
Has there been a bit more fight in training now you've got this game fast approaching?
Yeah, I think naturally there has, because you're much closer to it now. It feels really real flying out here and having the opening ceremony. Feels like we're really at a World Cup now, and it's really beginning. It's really starting to come together. So you can tell over the training, the 2 days we've had, there's been heaps of excitement throughout the boys, and it's been an added sort of edge and energy about us this week. So yeah, it's encouraging.
What are you expecting from Argentina?
I think they're a team that fights tremendously hard. They play as a team. Like I say, they're physical. The way they've got some really good, strong carriers. They're extremely physical at the breakdown as well. They're a team. You look at their games; they've never gone away in their games. They've fought to the very end. So they're a team with heaps of character and a really tough opponent to beat.
It's your second World Cup in Japan. You were sort of young, back row. What is it that experience taught you about how to approach this?
Still young. Oh, yeah, it's a slightly different feel. I think naturally there's probably a bit more expectation from myself this year. Probably went in a bit fresh 4 years ago, sort of taking it as it came. But I think that was probably the beauty of it for me. So I'm trying to pull as much as that character and that feeling as possible, and nothing's ever given, and trying to enjoy every moment, enjoy every day, and impress in training. And if I'm lucky enough to pull on the shirt at the weekend, just trying to make the most of every opportunity I get. So yeah, trying to keep the feeling the same, but I think naturally there's probably a little bit more expectation than there was for me last year.
Hi guys, one for both of you if that's all right. Obviously, I guess it kind of got lost slightly in the wash with Courtney's 100 cap. I just wondered if you could both talk about, the impact of that he sort of had, I suppose, at club and country, and fingers crossed he can kind of, have a massive impact on this tournament now as well.
Yeah, I think it was terribly disappointing day for him on Saturday. Obviously for the whole team, but in particular him. I think we all felt we let him down. But he's an amazing character, amazing leader. He's done that week in and week out for Saints. It's been a pleasure to play with him there. And he's exactly the same when he comes to England. He's got such a big presence on the field. Sort of a bit of a silent leader, leads by example, doesn't speak too much. But it's been a real privilege to play alongside of him.
Yeah, he's basically been big brother for the last few years at the club for me, and trying to take as much from his game as possible. I think the way he prepares himself off the pitch and the way he keeps himself very calm all week, I think it can come across as maybe a little bit lax, but as soon as the whistle goes, he's there and he's firing and he's ready to go as well. So the way he uses emotional energy in the week is impressive. And yeah, obviously we were gutted we couldn't do the job for him last weekend, but I think there's a understanding he's a team man, that we're on this journey now and we're at a World Cup, and it's about winning games as it is always. And I think there's probably a post game was a little bit of a hangover for a couple of days, but I think now we're here, we're flushed out, ready to get on, ready to improve on that and really get stuck into it again.
And that's the sort of emotional calmness you're talking about, sort of, and then peaking at the right time. Against a team like Argentina, I'm assuming that's going to be quite crucial, because they're obviously, they thrive on that kind of real sort of fizzing intensity, don't they? I suppose part of your job at the weekend will be to sort of take that away from them if you can, while providing your own in a different kind of way.
Yeah, I think it's a very tough team to take that away from. If I'm honest, they're extremely passionate. You see, they play for each other, they play for the badge, and they play with a tremendous amount of pride. So I think the best thing we can do is very much be focused on us and what we can bring, and bringing our own sort of fire and energy to the game. And I think if we focus on that, then we give ourselves the best chance of winning that game.
And obviously, the August didn't go the way you wanted it to, but are we at the point where that just doesn't matter now?
Yeah, well, I think lads mentioned earlier that not a single point's been won or lost yet. I think everyone's written us off already, and probably rightly so after the last 4 games. We know it hasn't been good enough, but us as a group had a really good chat since arriving here at Touquet, and we've all said to each other there's a massive opportunity for us, and not a single point has been won or lost yet at this World Cup. So we've managed to flush what happened about a week and a half ago, and started the week really well, and looking forward to Saturday.
Can you tell us a bit about that chat? Who led that? Was it kind of just players behind closed doors?
Yeah, a bit of coaches, a bit of players. Everyone was involved. We're all in this together. It's not players versus coaches or anything like that. It's the whole squad. We're all in this battle together. As Lad said, unfortunately things haven't gone our way, but we're really excited for the next week ahead.
And as a World Cup newbie, who do you kind of lean on for tips about surviving the World Cup?
I think we're so privileged that we've got such a great mix in the squad. We've got people who've been at 4 World Cups, and a couple of people like myself who's our first one. So we've got this real good balance. We've got people like Courtney, who obviously know really well from being at the club. Such a good person to lean on in the tough times, because he's been through everything. And I've got my roomie next to me, Lads, he's also seen it all in the World Cup before and got to the final, so he knows what it takes to get deep in a competition. So there's plenty of experience within the squad to lean on, and then a couple of us fresh faces who are also keen to rip in. So it's a really good blend at the moment.
Quick question today. The Argentinian second rows have, let's say, a checkered disciplinary record. I'm just wondering, from your perspective, does the role of enforcer still exist in rugby?
I think there's always a space for it. I think you see in every team they've got someone who likes to dominate the game, especially in the second row. They obviously, the old school role of enforcer is slightly changing with the rules of rugby. Refs are getting a bit hot on that, and discipline and things like that. So you've got to play a slightly different role, but of course on the pitch you want to make an impact and be a physical presence. They've obviously got second rows who like to do that, and it's our job to nullify them, and then put our presence on the ball, on the pitch as well.
And when you're playing against a player like Beany or whoever it is, you might be playing on Saturday. Do you take that as a personal challenge to sort of match their physicality? And as someone else said, the Argentinians obviously get a lot of emotional energy from the big hits, etc.
Yeah, I think there's always that personal battle on the field against your opposition, especially opposite number. So come Saturday, of course, we're going to want to nullify his threats. But as much as that, we also want to express ourselves. We would like to talk about the opposition so much. I mean, it's also what we're going to be doing to them as an England pack. And I think that's really exciting. It's a great opportunity for the England pack to make a real stamp on this tournament. I think in the last 4 games we've probably fallen short at times, so I'm really looking forward to that challenge.
Quick question for you. I mean, obviously you'd have liked to have come into the tournament world number 1, 100% record, but you are where you are. Does it help you in any way that you're under the radar? You're obviously people writing you off, and the external expectations are very low.
Yeah, I think it depends who you are. I can only speak personally. I think there's a lot of different feelings around the camp. We're obviously under pressure, but I think coming into a tournament as underdog is a beautiful position to be in. With lower expectation, you can free yourself up more easily. You can express yourselves because nothing's given to you yet. Sometimes when you're number 1 and you've achieved things pre-tournament, you can be reaching for that too much. I think when you're probably a little bit behind and your back's up against the wall, you're a lot more present with things. So personally, I think it's quite a nice spot to be in. Obviously, we would have been brilliant coming off the back of 3 or 4 wins, but it's a situation we find ourselves in. I think we've got to enjoy that.
And who's led the main messages this week? I know Owen's obviously not involved this weekend, but who's been sort of setting the key messaging within the group?
I think it's especially this week. The most impressive thing is that everyone's speaking up. Everyone's so keen to make a change. You've got voices you wouldn't necessarily hear, the likes of Joe Marchant, who hasn't been involved a tremendous amount in this team, but he's stepping up really well and talking about how we can move his team forward. So yeah, I think it's encouraging that we've got a lot of lads that want to step up and want to make change, and we've got those old voices as well, in the likes of Farrell and Genji and Courts as well, who can step up and lead with experience too. So we've got a great blend, and there's a lot of people stepping up wanting to move this team forward.
So you played a game with a lot of passion. You did a kindred spirit in Pablo Montero.
Yeah, it's impressive. I think, like myself, he plays the game emotionally. Plays the game with emotional energy, which is a beautiful thing, because there's always a reason to get yourself up for a game. The fact you're playing it on a world stage as well, it's just that extra little bit special. So yeah, I look at him, and he's someone, like I say, he plays for his country, fights hard for the boys around him, and I'd like to do the same for the boys this weekend if I get selected. Perfect, thank you.
Thanks.
Cheers, guys. Cheers.